And the slaves, or the Slavs, were basically the slaves of the Vikings. And they basically, the Viking men raped the Slav women. And then basically there's also, yeah, that's pretty much how Russia came to be. There's really two Russias. There's Russia, and then there's the Tartarian Russia, which was used to be Tartaria, but became assimilated into Russia. So there's really two Russias. It's not all just one big Russia country. So yeah, I got this Viking genetics. At some point, I got of it. That's why I don't know, a lot of the just Antichrist type genetics, Ubermensch genetics. Um, I mean, just think about all these heavy metal bands, like these black metal bands. They just get these guitar players. They just get possessed. You can just see them get straight up possessed by like literal satanic demons and stuff. I mean, it gets really satanic up there. I mean, the demons, they just take over them. Like, that's what pagans do. It's called evocation, basically, in witchcraft, where you channel the demons. It's called an evocation, where you basically channel the demons, or use the demons pretty much to fuel your art or whatever. Um, so yeah, music is largely demonic in nature because demons, or the muses, fuel the music being made. And they would also have like possessive music in Greece, have like hymns to music to the god of the grapes known as Bacchus, or the Baphomet, goat god. They would get like possessed off drinking wine, and they would play like these satyr uh, string instruments that they would get like all they'd play it like and get like in a trance, and they would have like orgies to the god Bacchus. That was that was pagan. That was the pagan way back then in Greece. They would um, pretty interesting stuff. They would also do mushrooms and stuff to communicate with the gods, like Zeus, or the demons. Really, just the demons that they think are their gods. I don't really know too much about Slavic paganism, but I'm assuming the Slavic paganism is similar to Greek paganism, since the Slavs and the Thracians are related. Since the Thracians are pretty much just Slavs, come from the same genetics, I guess. But basically, yeah, the goddess of the hunt is Artemis. I believe that the Thracians or the Scythians came from Nimrod, who was the great hunter. They were all about the hunt. So yeah, Artemis is the goddess of the hunt. I think she comes from the Thracians. It makes sense since Nimrod is the lord of the hunt. So they were all about the bow, hunting with the bow and the horse. Um, Trying to think of anything else. I don't know. I'm a Christian, but I still am interested in talking about paganism and culture and stuff like that, even though I don't follow that kind of stuff. Um, I don't know what's the deal with all the runes and stuff that they're like these runes. They're using these runes or something to communicate with these spirits or demons or whatever. I don't know. It's pretty much just all witchcraft, is what it is. I guess the Vikings were involved in similar pagan rituals that the Greeks did. With getting basically in a trance with like music, and then like probably taking like some kind of, wouldn't they drink this stuff called mead that had like uh, something hallucinogens in them or something that they would get like possessed or high off of. I think so. I think that's what they drunk, drank. They would also, I don't know, they just could travel long distances. You know why they could travel long distances? Because they were always freaking possessed. The Vikings were always possessed all the time, so they could row a long distance. Like they were able to sail all the way to the Americas. So they were just very warlike, possessed by Satan that allowed them to become like very strong. Um, they were basically, you know, the Huns were like the scourge from the east. I guess the Vikings would be like the scourge from the north, and the Phoenicians would be like the scourge from the south. So those would be like the three main, you know, barbaric hordes that you would have to fear from all being Nephilim bloodlines in some way, serpent seed. I don't know. Every time I start talking about anything occult, they start flying over like planes, like making a lot of noise because they don't like me talking about anything that's the occult or anything about like bloodlines and paganism and stuff. They don't like it when I start talking about like anything to deal with that. They don't like knowledge or people to know anything. They just want you to be ignorant. Pretty soon, all the audiobooks and knowledge is going to get deleted off YouTube. They're just going to do a purge, and everything that speaks any truth is just going to be gone. That's just the truth, I think. did Satan say he's the father of knowledge, or he's called the father of lies? So does the devil really care about knowledge at all? I don't think the devil gives a fuck about knowledge or wanting people to be knowledgeable about anything. Otherwise, there wouldn't be such a campaign to censor everything. So the Lord of Possession doesn't want you to be knowledgeable. He just wants you to be possessed. You know, Odin, Woden, woken ass. He just wants you to be basically deceived, is what he wants. He doesn't want you to be knowledgeable. That comes from the Holy Spirit. That's the spirit of truth, not the spirit of lies. So really, knowledge comes from the Holy Spirit. Um, so yeah, Freemasons, they don't want you to know anything. They want you to be deceived just like the devil wants you to be deceived. And they themselves are deceived at the lower levels and don't have a lot of knowledge about anything, really. A lot of them don't even know the origins of their own cult. Um, what else? They don't even. I mean, I'm sure they know that Freemasonry basically began in Lebanon from King Hiram when he sent the architects from Lebanon to build Solomon's temple. That's basically when one of the incarnations began. But it it was already it had already existed way before that in Egypt from the mystery priesthood that originated from Babylon. So there are different incarnations of it. Um, different, masonries or incarnations or sects of it, of the cult, of the devil cult. Like I said, the Egyptians were another one of the Nephilim bloodlines, pharaonic Nephilim bloodline. They came from the Hamites. Um, they were all into black magic, and I think they also were into worshiping Sebek, who was a crocodile god, or basically Sebek is just Satan, the god of the Nile. They basically they did blood sacrifice to Sebek. Um, I don't know. Devil worship is the oldest religion in the world, really. Since the fallen angels fell, man has been worshiping the old, serpent. Don't you think a lot of these sports stars are under MK Ultra and they're possessed, that allows them to have supernatural strength and stuff to be able to be so good at at the sport and stuff, that it's just the demons basically working through these athletes in order to accomplish all these feats and stuff. Don't you think that's where Don't you really think that's that's really the origin of where the idea for superheroes comes from, or the demigods is how these demons will just work through these people, give them all these unnatural feats like all this strength and stuff. 100% demonic. Superheroes are 100% demonic. So yeah, demons, they give powers, to people, um, but they can also take power away from you too. Uh, but yeah, I think all of these athletes are possessed and have been had they've had MK Ultra done on them too to give them two personalities or multiple personalities. I mean, just about every single famous person is possessed. Everyone in power is possessed by multiple demons. Multiple demons. And then there's the idea that some of these people are really just the fallen angels pretending to be humans or whatever, but they're just in Babylon they call them the Anunnaki, but they're really just the same as the fallen angels. Uh, so some people think they're the Anunnaki, that they're not even demons, that they're the ones that created the demons. They're the actual fallen ones, pretending to be humans, or they're using magic to disguise their appearance. I don't know, I'm trying to think of any famous person that I think that isn't human at all that could possibly just be a straight up fallen angel. Um, I don't know. Like Mark Zuckerberg, he ain't human at all. He's an alien. I don't know what kind of alien, but he ain't human. Um, I mean, I'm sure angels have the ability to shapeshift and stuff. That's really all magic is. It's just using demons to accomplish things you wouldn't be able to do normally. I mean, usually in order to gain power, something must be given up in return. It's the law of exchange. So, in order for these warlocks and witches to get, or sorcerers to gain power, they have to give up something. Usually, that requires their souls, you know, to gain, powers and stuff. Like, you remember Jafar, like from Aladdin, how he wanted to be the most powerful sorcerer, but he basically became a slave to the genie bottle. And that's pretty much how these warlocks and wizards and sorcerers and witches are. They give up their souls. They become slaves, basically, to just like Jafar did. He became a genie. He became the jinn, a jinn, or a genie. A genie is a jinn. It's the same thing. I'm guessing the myth for the genie comes from how I guess the Arabs would keep demons in like lamps or something, and they thought that if they wished, asked the demon, they would basically ask, make a pact with the demon or whatever. Tired. You get tired when I start talking about too many different things. So yeah, if you think about it, the movie Aladdin is really just a metaphor for making a deal with a genie or making a deal with the devil. You know, so it's kind of what it's like, really. Having to lose your soul, really, to get power in that world. I don't understand why Disney feels the need to remake every cartoon movie into live action when the live action versions are garbage. Oh yeah, speaking of sorcerers, Walt Disney himself was a sorcerer, and I was hearing from another video that Mickey Mouse is an actual like demon that he conjured or whatever. He conjured, and the way it really was like a mouse demon, and that the voice for Mickey Mouse is actually the demonic voice that he channeled to get that voice. So just Mickey Mouse is a demonic entity. Just think about that. A real demonic entity, not a fake one. A real Mickey Mouse is real. He's a demon. A demon you don't want to mess with. Um, so yeah, he was a sorcerer, and he was into the occult. stuff. Um, and I guess I start getting shocked when I start talking about this. Shock zap to my forehead. These demons don't like me talking about anything. Just think about it. You know, what is Disney all about? They're all about magic or black magic, you know. The magic or the black magic kingdom, you know. They're all about magic. Using magic to fool people. Using demons. You know, Disney has to be one of the most demonic companies to ever exist. Straight up demonic. I mean, it's just straight up demonic is what it is. I mean, most companies nowadays are demonic. But Disney has to be the most demonic. I think Coca-Cola is a demonic company too because they basically make their sodas, you know, design them to be addicting so people will keep buying them. So it's demonic. There's a spirit attached to the Coca-Cola products that makes people want to keep drinking them. Um, just how I think there's a spirit attached to fast food restaurants, to each, you know, brand of fast food that makes people keep wanting to. You know, there's a familiar spirit that customer is familiar with, so they keep coming back to that restaurant. They've been bewitched by that familiar spirit. You just get some really demonic people in these video games, like with the most demonic usernames. It's like, am I playing against demons or humans? It's like, yeah, I don't even know sometimes. Because these people have some demonic names. Always putting like X's in front of their name, like two X's, to indicate that they're a gang stalker or a perp. I saw one the other day that said he was a Knights Templar. My golly. You know what Knights Templar is? I'm really tired. I don't know how people make these 2 hour streams, you know, I just can't talk for that long. Yeah, basically, yeah, the world's really demonic. There's black magic working through just about everything. Most companies are use black magic to sell products and stuff. The occult pretty much runs through everything in this nation. Um, a lot of times, people that are narcissists are into the occult because they want to control other people. Walt Disney. He was a 33rd degree Mason. He was a warlock, heavily into conjuring demons, a sorcerer, a conjurer, familiar spirits. So he could conjure these spirits and get them to make his company successful. I mean, just think about how much part these demons or spirits have had in making these companies successful. Because just how there's a familiar spirit attached to these companies. Like, I mean, without the witchcraft, a lot of these companies wouldn't be successful. Just how, like, without familiar spirits, a lot of these athletes wouldn't be successful. It's really just a demon basically using their body to do all these amazing feats and stuff. I mean, another thing you gotta think about is do not a lot of target individuals realize that they've had black magic done on them? Do they not realize that? There's a lot of us, they've used black magic on us to try to make us depressed and stuff. Since conjuring up these demons and stuff. That's what they try to do. They're narcissists and they try to use their demons to control you. Witchcraft and narcissism, rebellion and narcissism go hand in hand together. Really, rebellion is a sin of witchcraft. Narcissism is basically trying to control people, through through the occult. Really, it's like we can't make what they won't let us control them, so we have to use hidden means to control people. That's the occult. That's how these narcissists control us, try to control us. Tired. Yeah, if it wasn't for black magic, these fake, you know, jokers wouldn't be able to own all these banks. Without black magic, basically having a demonic pact and blood oath, these J words, jokers, would not be able to have all this success and be able to just use the money to control everybody. So really, Satan's the one that controls it all. And he's the one that allows them to have all the success. I mean, they're just pawns. That's how the banks work, though. The banks, uh, it's all a bunch of magic, a bunch of black magic. You know, there's actually, I think, there's probably a familiar spirit attached to money. There's probably demons that are attached to the dollars themselves. So why do you think people are become like so greedy? They become possessed by the spirit of greed that possesses people. You know, greed and narcissism also go together because narcissists tend to be very greedy. So I mean, it's like, why do these athletes need to be paid so much freaking money? I just don't understand. You're literally throwing a ball in a hoop. Like, why do you need all these millions of dollars to, for what? Just wasting money on people that don't deserve this money. You know? You don't think some of these athletes can sell their souls to the devil too? How do you think people like LeBron became so successful? They sold their souls. A lot of these athletes are involved in the occult, just like the rappers are. Um, Tired. I just think it's wrong the way. It's just how spoiled some of these athletes are. It's like they need $100 million. What are you gonna use all that money for? Like, why does anyone need that much money? I don't understand. It's an absurd amount of wealth and money that's wasted on people. Like, I just don't understand. Like, why do these athletes deserve so much money? You know, people stop watching sports. They could stop making all these freaking athletes so freaking rich all the time. But Americans are hooked on sports because sports is a form of mind control. One of the best forms of mind control on the population. Usually, people that are obsessed with sports are heavily mind controlled and don't really think too much about anything else but sports because there's a familiar demonic spirit operating through sports that gets people coming back, you know, for watching it. Just like there's a familiar spirit that keeps people coming back to drink Coca Cola or comes back to eat Chick fil A. There's a familiar spirit operating through the company of companies like Chick fil A and McDonald's that just keeps people addicted to their junk food. Or like there's a familiar spirit operating through Cheetos, you know. It makes you just want to eat Cheetos. It's demonic. Food can be demonic too. Not just you know, music or whatever. But food can be demonic. There can be spirits operating through food. So yeah, I think some of these companies are really demonic because the way they just get people addicted to their food when their food, it's almost like they're under a spell. The customer's under a spell. They don't realize that the food's not that good, but they think it's good. It's because they're under mind control. They're under a spell. Um, I don't know. I've been in Chick Fil A before. Chick Fil A just feels demonic. It feels like a really demonic company, to be honest with you, because it's pretending to be a Christian company when it's really a satanic company. Because it's a greedy company. Any company that's greedy is satanic. Greed and Christ don't go together. Christ and greed don't go together. Antichrist goes with greed, but not Jesus. Jesus, Jesus is the Christ. So yeah, there's familiar spirits operating through these companies. Just like there's a familiar spirit operating probably through Apple products that literally controls or operates through every Apple product. There's one familiar spirit that has multiple connections to all the different Apple products that operates basically through the Apple product. It's a form of witchcraft to get people basically mind controlled to Apple products. So basically, without all these familiar spirits mind controlling people, they wouldn't have all this mind control. It's really the demons doing the majority of the work for all these meat puppets that are in power. They're just meat puppets to the demons. The demons are the ones really doing all the hard work, trying to enchant people and get them hooked on stuff. Hooked on Chick Fil A, hooked on Apple products. And then TV itself is a form of mind control. I think this concludes this commentary video. I'm kind of can't I can't talk much more on it, but I hope this video, you know, had a lot of detail in it about different multiple subjects and could clarify some